welcome to Good Game Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Badge.
And I'm Hex.
And I am Darrin.
Darrin, Hex, let me ask you, are my canines looking a bit more pronounced than usual? Or what about my bicuspids?
Badge, your teeth look the same as always. Why do you ask?
Oh, well, I'm just curious because I've been playing MacGuffin's Curse and now I think I'm a little bit werewolf.
Well, I think you're delusional.
You also have particles of grilled cheese sandwich wedged between your teeth.
Oh, I know, Darrin, I'm saving them for later.
We'll also be looking at the iOS adaptations of games like Lego Harry Potter Years 5 to 7 and Total War Battles Shogun.
Are they best in show or will we send them to the doghouse?
Oh, and don't forget, we'll be announcing the results of my I'm No Noob challenge. There's no better a blue ribbon than an official Darrin Badge.
All right, calm down, settle, sit. Good robot.
I think I've got fleas. It's unrelated.
There are puzzle games and then there are adventure games, but it's rare that we see the two genres blended into one.
But that's exactly what you get with MacGuffin's Curse. It's an adventure puzzler brought to us by Brawsome, who are the same Aussie developer that made Jolly Rover.
MacGuffin is another name for a plot device in a story. Usually the MacGuffin is a rare item the hero is looking for, like a Horcrux. MacGuffin's Curse puts you in control of a thief named Lucas MacGuffin, who finds his own MacGuffin early in the story, the Lupine Twine Amulet, a cursed artifact that gives him the power to turn into a werewolf at will.
This soon comes in handy as MacGuffin's quest to free his city involves an awful lot of crate pushing, which is a task that requires the burly strength of his werewolf form.
But on the other side, werewolves can't operate computers or swim, and they also can't fit through narrow passageways. So MacGuffin needs to switch between his two forms, and that's how you solve those puzzles.
It's an odd game, and it looks odd. They made some interesting choices with the visuals, didn't they, Badge?
Yeah, they did, and it was designed for smartphones as well as PC, so the graphics look a little chunky when scaled up to PC size. The cutscene art also looks really weird too. Don't get me wrong, it's great they tried something a little different, but yeah, it's strange, kooky even.
You'll meet plenty of NPCs and they'll send you out on many a fetch quest. But ultimately the whole game boils down to pushing those crates. Giant batteries that activate switches, regular wooden crates and metal crates that you cannot pull, only push. The puzzles are deep and surprisingly hard.
Yeah, I'd used the hint option a couple of times.
You use the hints 1,087 times, Barjo, and the level skip feature 36 times.
Darrin, some of those levels were impossible!
Negative.
Okay, the sound was good though, wasn't it, guys? Lots of atmospheric flourishes and smooth jazz.
Smooth jabs. And there were jokes too, jokes everywhere, not just in the dialogue, but also in the item descriptions of things. So it pays to look at everything nice and close. There's a dodgy sense of humour at work here, and I, for one, like that.
Even though this is a budget game, I was surprised at the amount of content here. There's heaps of unlocks too. I was constantly sniffing out every little nook and cranny for treasure.
Collectibles take two forms. There's gold, which you can use to upgrade your filthy apartment and thus raise the quality of life for your daughter and granny. You will also uncover fragments of comic book, with which you can piece together the game's enigmatic backstory.
But we should wrap this up. Final thoughts, Hex?
Well, even though it's a bit of a mutt, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this game. It's a puzzle game you can sink your teeth into. I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Well, I liked it, but I thought it was a bit too hard, so I'm giving it 5 out of 10. Oh, the moonlight's shining through the window! Oh, I can feel the change coming! Oh no, it's just a burp.
Oh, God, it smells like cheese toasties. I'm up to the news.
And a whiff of croissant.
You know, Barjo, you really should go to a dentist at least once every 6 months.
I go to the dentist every 3 months, Darrin. I just eat a lot of cheese toasted sandwiches in the morning.
Hex here from the Spawn Point news desk. An American university student has created a fully operational portal turret. Using a simple camera, the turret can track anyone wearing a pink shirt, and if the target stands still, it'll shoot them with harmless foam darts. It is, of course, fully equipped with a cute voice.
Come over here.
It seems Nintendo isn't the only one who struggled last year, as Sony has reported a total loss of over $5.5 billion for the year. Sony's profits were down across all divisions, and even the usually profitable gaming division lost nearly $3 billion. Researchers at the University of Minnesota have developed a system using a Kinect sensor that could help diagnose autism in children. The Kinect, combined with special software, will be able to flag children who are overly still or hyperactive, which are common symptoms of autism.
Tell you what, Darrin, while we're waiting for Hex to come back from the news desk, why don't you hand out one of your Darrin badges and prize packs?
Affirmative. Just get this out of the way. Yes, as you'll recall, for my most recent I'm No Noob challenge, I set the Spallings the task of achieving a high score in the deceptively tricky flash game, Cosmo Cabs.
I do remember, Darrin. That is a tricky game. What were the results?
Oh, over 130 of our loyal viewers entered, Marjo. An impressive effort, with nary a noob amongst them. Alas, there can only be one winner. One intrepid Spawning, gifted with the coveted Darrin Badge, along with the lesser items in the prize pool.
And the winner is?
Oh, I have tabulated the results, and the grand prize winner is Ninja Panda from Preston, Victoria, with a score of 191,972. Well done, Ninja Panda. We'll be contacting you shortly to arrange delivery of your fabulous prize.
Yes, top effort. Darrin, look, I'm just going to go get started on the Ask Good Game question, so when Hex comes, you just tell her where I am, okay?
Oh, affirmative.
Right.
Remember those high-five tips I gave you? It's all in the wrist.
All right. Oh, desk to myself. So much leg room. Keyboard. Second keyboard. Okay. Let's get into these questions. This is going to go smooth as butter. First one is from Neil, who is in Annandale, which is in New South Wales. I'm in New South Wales. How are you, Neil? Dear SP, love the show and Barjo and Darrin. But this question is just for Hex. My friend says you have a pink computer. Is this true? P.S. I like rugby. See? Yeah. Hex's computer. Well, Neil, I'm going to go ahead and say her computer is orange with green spots. Okay, next question. Let's see who this one's from.
I'm here.
Hex, where have you been? It's been a madhouse. I've answered so many questions.
I
It's
went
been
to the
a
den of
I had this
gaming.
question
Darrin
about
said
your
you'd come here.
computer.
Why did you leave without
This
me?
question about your computer. I said it was orange with pink spots or something
What?
like that anyway.
No, my computer
question.
is pink.
Orange.
Here's a photo of it so that you can see. It's pink. Don't answer questions about my computer without me. See?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it was pink.
All right, well, next up we have this one from Lachlan, who is in Melbourne. Green with orange spots.
I never said anything like that. This is crazy.
Is there any flight simulators for Wii? Fact, planes can go up to 600 miles per hour. Please, please answer. P.S. I watch your show.
That's a cool fact, Lachlan, but did you know there's actually a plane in development called the Falcon HTV-2, which they hope will go up to 21,000 kilometres an hour. That's almost 6 kilometres per second. You could get from Sydney to London in an hour in that speed.
Well, that's ridiculously fast. But back to your question, Lachlan. There are a few flight games for the Wii. I wouldn't call any of them Sims, though, since they're all pretty arcadey, and to be honest, none of them are particularly good.
You might want to check out a WiiWare game called Pearl Harbor Trilogy. The controls are pretty wonky and it's really difficult, but it's decent enough. Other than that, you might enjoy Heatseeker for some modern jet fighting action.
Otherwise, there are some fairly average ports of Tom Clancy's Hawks or Blazing Angels. There's also the Skycrawler's Innocent Aces, which is made by the same folks who made the Ace Combat games, so you'd think it would be good. Although, we really didn't like that game when we reviewed it, so...
No, in fact, I think it was the worst game I played that year. But on the other hand, there are some reviews out there that people think it was quite good and they rated it quite highly, so they might disagree with us and you might disagree with us as well.
All right, well, hopefully you can enjoy at least one of those, Lachlan. But moving on to this one now from Taylor, who's in Pakenham, Victoria.
I love ham.
Pakenham.
Hex, the emergency phone's ringing.
What? What do you mean emergency phone? The phone's right here.
No, this is the emergency phone because it's red.
Oh, wait, what?
Only a few people have this number. Go ahead, Red Leader. Hi, Darrin. How did you get this number? I know you can go faster than the jet. You've shown me your rocket boots, and they're very fancy.
His rocket boots aren't very fancy.
Hang on, Hex wants to talk to you.
Well, I didn't say that I wanted to talk to... Hello? Really? A world record? That's fantastic. Oh, okay. That's all right.
Darrin!
Oh, you're breaking up. Separate.
I pulled out the plug. Hello? Hi, Darrin. Let's just go to the next question.
Dear Good Game SP, I'm looking for a good game for me to play. I'm nearly 4 and I would like a free download on my computer that is not too hard, but a little bit challenging. I can read really well, so some text is okay. Thank you. I think Hex and Badge are funny and I think Darrin needs to do another dump.
Darrin, I gotta go. 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 Well, Taylor, firstly, there are quite a few good options. I'm sure you'd enjoy platformers, so I'd recommend Run Man as a good one. It's got a great hand-drawn art style, and you can't die. You just try and get through levels as fast as possible.
I'd also recommend Frogato. You play as a little frog and you have to jump your way around some lovely retro-inspired levels while eating up enemies and saving your friends. There's also Cave Story, which is a brilliant little platformer that has been remade into a proper retail game, but you can still grab the original for free.
No doubt you'll love racing too, so I definitely suggest the Trackmania games. Trackmania Nations Forever is the best of the freebies in the series. It's got good graphics, super fast racing, and even a level editor if you feel like getting a bit creative.
And for a little bit more of a puzzle game, you might enjoy Bridging the Gap. It's very simple, you just have to try and build a bridge for a train to get across, but it's strangely addictive. It kind of reminded me of World of Goo a little bit. But hopefully you can find a few of those up your alley, Lachlan. Moving on, let's get to this one from Totally Awesome Head in Pinjarra, Western Australia.
Totally Awesome Head?
Yeah.
Sounds alright.
Totally awesome?
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
Hi guys, I was wondering if there will be any Avengers games because I just saw the movie and it's awesome, and if I don't find out, I'll become a noob. So please tell me. P.S. Banjo is cool, and Hex is awesome, and Darrin is a noob. There is indeed an Avengers game coming out, Totally Awesome Head, and there are actually 2 out already, but they're not that great. Marvel's The Avengers is just a simple brawler for mobiles, and Marvel Avengers Alliance is an average browser-based fighting game, but they're free, so there's that.
And then there's games based on each individual Avengers film, like the Thor or Hulk games, and you can play as most of the characters in the Marvel vs. Capcom games, but I guess those don't technically count as being Avengers games.
They have just announced Avengers Battle for Earth, which will be coming out for the 360 on Kinect and Wii U. There's not much information out yet, so we don't know when it will be out or what it looks like, but we do know it's a motion-controlled fighting game, although it actually will be based on the comics and not the film.
It just seems a bit odd that they aren't making a proper movie tie-in game. I mean, you'd think it'd be a no-brainer.
Yeah, they were making one here in Australia, but sadly got cancelled.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Oh well, moving on to this one from Slazzo. It's 567 in PS Vitaville in Queensland. Hey, Good Game, you guys are awesome. I was wondering, is Journey coming out for PS Vita? If not, what would you recommend I get? P.S. Darrin is a Noobosaurus Rex. PPS. Hex is awesome and is awesome at high fives. PPPS. Barjo is awesome too and should try to improve his high fives. PPPPS. Are you impresses with my spelling and punctuation? PPPPPS. Okay, last one. Could you please say hi to my friends Zach and Darcy?
Sorry to say, Slazzo, but the developer of Journey has said flat out they won't be making a Vita version, so it does not seem likely.
But as for what we'd recommend, well, we'd never reviewed it, but I really enjoyed Tales from Space Mutant Blobs Attack. It's a platformer where you play as a green blob from out of space, and you start off really small, but as you progress, you eat everything, and you can eventually start eating up whole cities. It's good fun.
Other than that, if you enjoy your Tetrisy type games, then try Lumine's Electronic Symphony. It's great, and Mod Nation Racer's Road Trip is a good little kart racer too.
Yes, and we are totally impresses with your spelling, and hello, Zach and Darcy.
Hello.
Right, well, next up we've got this one from EmenintFate96, who is in Geelong, Victoria. EmenintFate.
EmenintFate96!
That was much better.
That's how you say it. Hey, Barjo and Hex! When I was little, I played a clay animation game called The Neverhood by DreamWorks. I loved it. I've heard they're making a mobile version for iOS and Android. Is this true? P.S. All of my family love your show. You guys are awesome. Well, Eminent Fate, The Neverhood is a great old game, so we'd love to see it ported onto mobiles. And it's half true they're making a mobile version.
What do you mean half true?
It's half true, 50% true, 1/2 true. And that's because a bunch of the original developers are planning to make a mobile version, but they don't actually own the rights to the game. So at the moment, they're stuck in all that legal red tape mumbo jumbo trying to work it out. And the last update from them didn't sound very hopeful. And if they can't secure the rights for it, they can't make it.
Oh, well, fingers crossed they can work something out. But for now, let's move on to this one from Michael, LolSkees in Victoria, which is in Victoria.
I've got some LolSkees.
Do you?
Yeah, you put them on. They look like L's, and there's an O in the middle, and you put them on when you ski. You know what noise it makes?
What? Hi, Badge and Hex. Okay, this is my second time asking this question, and I would really like it to go on the show. Then I would be famous! Okay, my question is, I have absolutely no idea on how to use a redstone repeater in Minecraft. I've been trying to figure it out, but no luck here. Please put me in the next episode, please! Thanks, LolSkees / Michael. P.S. I love this show.
Well, LolSkees, you can think of redstone repeaters as being like an extension cord, because when you use redstone wire to carry a signal from somewhere, the signal fades out after a few blocks.
But if you put a repeater there, then it can carry the signal further. The only real trick to placing them is that you need to have them facing the right way so that your input goes into the back and the output will only go out the front.
You can also use them to delay a signal by moving the little switch on it. The further the switch is to the front, the longer the delay will be. You can actually see how Darrin used them in his poopanoob here. When a minecart rolls over the switch, it sends a signal through a bunch of repeaters which slow the signal down, allowing the minecart some extra time to spin around in our little booster before it gets launched up the hill.
Well, hopefully you now know how to use them, LolSkees, but on that note, I think we're out of time once again.
Oh, well, if you've got a question and you'd like to ask it to us, then you can jump on here and send it in.
Ask it to us.
Yeah, ask it to us.
Is that grammatically correct?
Let me just check the internet.
I'd like to ask us a question.
The internet says no. Stupid internet. Right, well now it's time to have a look at how two of our favourite games shape up when they go portable. And let's start with Total War Battles.
This is set in the same time and place as Shogun Total War, but as you can see, this is an entirely new kind of game. Instead of epic real-time battles with thousands of soldiers, you just get a small handful of units placed in a civilization-esque hexagonal grid. So it's kind of halfway between being a turn-based and a real-time game.
Affirmative. And battles play out as a sort of tug-of-war version of chess. The main rule is that there is no retreat. Units can either stay in one spot, move straight forward, or diagonally one hex in front of them, but there's a long cooldown on moving diagonally. Melee units can attack anyone in the 3 hexes in front of them, while ranged units can only shoot directly in front of them.
Yeah, so it's all about smart positioning of your units, that your rock hits their scissors while avoiding paper, so to speak. It seems simple at first, but it's actually quite complex. As you progress through the career, more and more unit types are added in, each with their own particular strengths and weaknesses. And knowing which unit to use, where to place it, and when to use it makes for some satisfying tactical decisions.
Also, in most battles, you have to build buildings. Some are used for training and some are used for gathering resources, but you can't just place them all over the place willy-nilly. Almost every building needs to connect to a specific other type of building. And to make it even trickier, they often can't be put next to another type of building for some reason.
Resource-generating buildings create extra loot when placed next to certain things on the map. Iron mines do better when placed against rocks, and logging camps get a boost when they're next to trees. Combine all of that with limited space and awkwardly shaped buildings, and you're going to need some good Tetris skills to figure out the best way to build your bases.
Your general also has a few special abilities, such as being able to reinforce a unit or give them an attack bonus, and it's making good use of this, which will see a satisfying win or a depressing defeat.
Each battle you win takes you one step closer on the campaign map to conquering Japan. But there are regular side missions along the way that can earn you some bonus XP, which you can spend to improve your units, abilities, and buildings. There's also the option to buy XP with real money, but you'll earn plenty of XP just playing through the game.
Your objective varies a lot from mission to mission too, which keeps things interesting. Often you have to get to the back of the enemy's base to take down their general, but other times you might just have to kill a certain number of units, survive a certain amount of time, or even just figure out how to place a specific number of buildings onto a map, to name but a few.
There's also a multiplayer mode where you both play on the same screen and try to take down each other's general. It's fun, but a bit fiddly for 2 people to play if you're playing on a phone rather than a tablet. But let's wrap this up, Badge. What are you giving it?
These are my favourite types of games on mobile phones and portable devices. Hex, I love the turn-based strategy of it, and I love the Total War series, so I'm giving this 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, as far as mobile strategy goes, I think this is definitely one of the better games out there, so it's 8 from me as well.
Next up, Lego Harry Potter, years 5 to 7, portable.
So last year we played the second Lego game based on the Harry Potter octology.
I'll stop you there, Hex. I think you'll find there's no octopuses in the Harry Potter universe.
No, Badger, I said octology. It's when you have 8 films in a row. You know, like the Toy Story movies are a trilogy. This is an octology because there's 8 of them.
There's none in the Toy Story universe either, I think. Oh no, there's one octopus.
If only they'd made 6 Harry Potter films, then it'd be a Harry Potter hexology.
Oh, that would have been awesome. But getting back to Lego Harry Potter, the console game was great, and now it's been shrunk down for iOS.
No octopuses.
Huh?
Hex, I was quite surprised at how good a job they did of recreating the console experience here. You can wave your wand around to levitate Lego blocks and cast lots of spells to solve puzzles, and the controls translate quite well to a touchscreen too, although some of the original has been lost in translation, especially the graphics. Some of those beautiful, almost stunning things you would see in the console version are much simplified here.
To be fair, this version of the game has been coded to run on much older phones, so they did have to scale back the graphics a bit.
Yeah, but considering you get more than 10 hours of gameplay, I was actually quite surprised, and there are some really cool features as well. Rearranging picture puzzles by tapping the blocks with your finger is a nice touch, and the side-on broom flying sequences are great. Oh, and how good were the wizard duels?
Oh, I love those. It's like you're playing tennis, except instead of a tennis ball, it's a flaming ball of fire that can really hurt you. I do have a few gripes with this game, though, like the lack of two-player mode.
Oh, two-player was the best part of the Lego games. I also felt that some of the puzzles were a little bit forced. I remember running into a locked gate. No problem, I'll just walk around it. Oh wait, there's an invisible wall blocking my path because the game wants me to run around and find ingredients, then cook them into a potion so I'll be strong enough to open this gate. Really?
Also, it's a bit weird that there's a magician's cauldron just sitting there on the train platform in the first place.
Affirmative. There are quite a few sections where the puzzles don't fit together nearly as neatly as the game's Lego bricks.
I also didn't think the cutscenes did a very good job of telling the story. To summarise long conversations with a few grunts, it just doesn't quite work for such an epic story of Harry Potter. But we should wrap this up, Hex. Final thoughts?
Well, I actually think they crammed a whole lot of Harry Potter goodness into one tiny little app, so I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I think it's a good alternative if you don't have access to the console versions, but they are much, much better. I'm giving this 7. Hex, I think I still have fleas from when I was a werewolf earlier in the show.
Barjo, you were never a werewolf.
Yes, I was.
And you don't have fleas.
Yes, I do.
Unless you do.
I think I do.
Do you? Oh, please.
I could douse your fur in toxic gas if you like.
That won't be necessary, Darren. Besides, we need to start planning for our next episode.
Why?
It's a special occasion. Because it's our 100th episode of Spawn Point.
Oh, hey, why don't we make it extra special and get the Spawnlings to pick their favourite moments for us to show?
Oh, good idea. They can send us an email or go to the website here. Oh, so many good times. I can't wait. Until next time, Spawnlings, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Barjo out.
Darren out.
What's your favourite Spawn Point moment, Barjo?
Well, I think it was that time when I turned into a werewolf. It was awesome.
I'm really worried. You do look like you have fleas.
Yeah, it's a bit itchy.
Could be psychosomatic.
What's that mean?
Oh, it just means it's all in his head.
I've got fleas in my head. In my head now too.
That's... same thing.